Here's a quick behind the scenes thing that nobody knows about. Every time that I go to shoot one of these videos, my dog needs to go out. So without fail, I start shooting this video and we have bells on our back door for the dog to, nudge when he needs to go out. Every single time. Anyway, you don't know how many of these videos I've had to reshoot because of that dog. Anyway, sorry this is a couple days late. Busy, draining weekend for me, so just had to get to it when I got to it. Joshua and Judges. We're here. Judges will come next. For me, probably the two most depressing and challenging books of the Bible. It's hard to see a God of love. It's hard to see Jesus in Joshua and Judges. But here we are. We have to deal with it. So what is Joshua? Joshua is kind of a historical narration of moving into the land. When God shows up to Moses way back in Egypt, the promise is not just escape, deliverance from Egypt. The promise is, hey, I'm going to move you into land. I'm going to give you a land. And that is all in the context of the Abraham promise, covenant. Listen, Abraham, you are going to be the father of nations. You're going to be the means. Your family is going to be the means by which I bless the world. And that is referring to how God is going to fix the brokenness that enters shortly after creation. So something about this Abraham's family, which has ended up in Egypt as slaves, now is set free, wandered in the desert for 40 years, and now stands on the border of the land, of the promised land. And this is a place that's meant to be where God's people experience shalom. And then I would put it this way, that then they pass that shalom on to the rest of the world, So that's kind of what's at stake. That's where we are in the big story, if you will. And so that places these events in context a little bit. It's important for Israel to occupy the land because that's supposed to be the sort of base to become the blessing. But that doesn't go very far with me anyway, with me at least. There's just so much just hard behavior, hard descriptions. So kind of already addressed the whole idea of I like framing things in questions. And if we think about it in terms of the big picture, the question maybe that is at stake in Joshua is, since God has freed the rescue project, how now will God's people respond when they get into the land? Will they be a blessing to the nations? That's the job description, if you will. So we'll get to see that play out. Spoiler alert, it doesn't go that well. Yeah. So anyway, that's what we're in for. Now, I will say this: if you zoom out a little bit, if you take some symbolism and not metaphor, but just connections to the New Testament. Don't know if you knew this or not, but Jesus' name in Hebrew is not Jesus, it is Yeshua, which is Joshua. So there are very, very firm connections between Joshua's story leading his people into the promised land and Jesus, Yeshua, the new Joshua, leading God's people again into the promised land, which is no longer a physical land, but a kingdom of shalom. So I think, as we get into this behavior, that's something I do like to keep in mind, that Jesus is our Joshua. He is our Yeshua in very, very, very firm ways. And I would even say the Gospels, which were not there, probably takes too much time to describe. But I think Jesus and to a lesser extent, John the Baptist, they go through some pains to make those connections between the Joshua story and the deliverance story even more firm. in their own time. So anyway, that's where we're at. It's 32, 33 chapters. Lots of death and destruction, lots of sadness, some encouraging things as well. If you have any questions on anything, again, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'll answer them as best I can. Again, acknowledging that we're not in an in-depth Bible study, but sometimes we just, something will come up that you just need to have, some kind of answer for. And I will say this, there are actually deeper level ways to look at Joshua that help me, and judges, that help me with some of this information, but there's just not space to go through it in a way that is responsible. Anyway, that's it. Blessings, and we'll hope to hear from you guys in the text thread, and keep on keeping on. There you go. And now my dog needs to come back in because he's done doing his business. Peace.